All right, so Agatha All Along has wrapped up. And with Halloween just around the corner, I'm guessing you're all in full spooky mode. This past month has been a blast, diving into all things witchy in the MCU. I have to say, this series brought a fresh twist to the universe, and I loved every minute. That said, the double-episode finale still left us with some big, unanswered questions. We've learned new details about Agatha Harkness, the Witch's Road, and Wiccan, but honestly, I think we're all left with this lingering curiosity. I've counted at least 10 big questions that I can't stop thinking about. So instead of just piling up my own guesses, I figured I'd reach out to you all for help. I know you all have some fantastic theories, and I'd love to hear what you think about these unanswered threads. And for anyone who's new here, welcome to Cinema Moves. This is a space for all of us who love the MCU, DC, SSU, and superhero worlds. I'm not here as an expert, just someone bringing together all of your amazing ideas, thoughts, and theories. So if you're into these kinds of discussions, don't forget to hit subscribe and join us for more deep dives into upcoming videos. Are you ready to tackle these questions with me? Drop your thoughts in the comments whenever something comes to mind. Let's get into it. Let's dive into the first big question. Will there be a season 2 of Agatha All Along? Now that Agatha All Along has wrapped, it left us with quite a few loose threads and unexplored storylines. A season 2 could be a fantastic way to pick up on those. There's a lot more we could see with Jennifer Kale, Nicholas Scratch, and of course Billy Maximoff's journey alongside Agatha. At this point though, there hasn't been any official announcement from Marvel Studios or any official accounts on social media, hinting at a second season for Agatha All Along. So, right now, this idea is still up in the air. What we do know is that there's talk of a series called Vision Quest, which looks set to follow Billy Maximoff as he searches for his reincarnated twin brother, Tommy. With the help of Agatha in Episode 8, it seems like Billy has already found Tommy's new form, who, according to the comics, would go by the name Thomas Shepard. Even if Vision Quest ends up focusing mainly on Vision, especially White Vision, there's still a solid chance that Billy's quest for Tommy could spin off into its own storyline. Marvel seems to be setting up a bigger story involving Tommy's character, Speed, along with Billy and Agatha, who's currently guiding Billy as a ghostly mentor. What do you think? Are you hoping for a second season of Agatha All Along, or would you rather see these stories unfold within Marvel's existing lineup of projects? All right, here's question 2. Will Billy and Tommy join the Young Avengers? With Kamala Khan and Kate Bishop already laying the groundwork for the Young Avengers team, it's natural to wonder if Billy and Tommy Maximoff will be part of it. Personally, I think Tommy is a solid bet. After all, Agatha All Along seemed to hint that Tommy's story is far from over. But the big question is, will both of Wanda's sons be on the team? In the comics, both Billy and Tommy are part of the Young Avengers, so that's definitely a good sign. But the MCU has a way of doing its own thing, and by the time Agatha All Along wrapped, we didn't get any clear hints about Billy joining the Young Avengers just yet. Still, can you picture it? Billy, Tommy, Kamala, Kate Bishop, and Cassie Lang all teaming up as the next generation of superheroes. It'd be incredible to see them continue the legacy of the original Avengers from the Infinity Saga. So, what do you think? When do you think we'll actually see Billy and Tommy in this young superhero lineup? All right, on to question 3. Is there still a chance for Scarlet Witch to return to the MCU? I know a lot of you probably want to jump right in and say yes, especially with all the hints floating around outside of the storyline itself. But for me, I'd say it's still a 50-50 shot. Before Agatha All Along was released, fans were hoping the series would pave the way for Elizabeth Olsen's return as Scarlet Witch. But here we are, 9 episodes later, and the mystery surrounding Wanda Maximoff is just as deep and even more ambiguous. If anything, it feels like her fate is even more uncertain. For those of you who might not remember, Wanda seemingly met her end in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness while destroying every copy of the Darkhold across the multiverse. She made this ultimate sacrifice to prevent anyone else from using the cursed book. But for many fans, that ending didn't feel conclusive or worthy of her character arc. It left people hoping that Wanda wasn't really gone, but rather that she would make a comeback eventually. The big question remains, when? rumors are everywhere, suggesting that Scarlet Witch might play a significant role in Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. That could hint at Elizabeth Olsen's return, especially since Marvel Studios could use Scarlet Witch in these major storylines. But so far, Agatha All Along didn't give us any solid leads about Wanda's whereabouts or her status. And if I'm honest, that seems to cast more doubt on her return than hope. It's also worth considering the bigger picture here. Now that Billy is set up to carry on Wanda's legacy, Marvel Studios could lean on his character to keep the magic element alive in the MCU. With so many new characters coming up, keeping Wanda around indefinitely might complicate things. But that's just my take. What do you all think? Are you hoping to see Elizabeth Olsen back in action as Scarlet Witch? All right, on to question 4. Why did Agatha choose to remain in the world as a ghost after her death? What's the unfinished business that's keeping her here? I don't know about you, but I initially felt like Agatha's story reached an epic conclusion by the end of Agatha All Along. She made the ultimate sacrifice, going up against death itself to save Billy. It felt like a powerful ending. So seeing her suddenly reappear as a ghost in Billy's room was a surprise. Some of you might wonder, too, if her transformation into a ghost might end up feeling unnecessary. In the Marvel comics, though, Agatha does spend quite a bit of time as a ghost. In fact, she's even been a ghostly companion for Wanda, sometimes acting as a member of Wanda's coven on the Witch's Road. So her current ghostly appearance, with that classic look, white hair, purple-silver attire, floating spirit form, and her familiar nagging persona, actually lines up pretty well with the comics. But for the MCU, I hope there's more to it than just being an accurate look from the comics. Agatha's staying behind should come with a strong purpose. In episode 9, she hinted that she wasn't ready to face him in the afterlife. Could that be referring to her son, Nicholas Scratch? If so, why? Wouldn't it make sense that she'd want to be reunited with him after centuries apart? Or maybe, what if him isn't Nicholas Scratch at all? What if it's someone or something far more dangerous, like Mephisto? Could Agatha be sticking around as a ghost to avoid an encounter with Mephisto? And if so, why would she want to avoid him? What do you all think? Let me know in the comments if you have any theories on why Agatha's still hanging around. All right, now we're on to question 5, and it's a big one. Where is Mephisto, and when are we actually going to see him in the MCU? Yes, here we go with Mephisto again. The anticipation around this character just keeps growing, doesn't it? And now that Agatha All Along has officially name-dropped him, it feels like Mephisto's presence in the MCU is basically confirmed, even if we haven't seen him yet. For those of you who remember, Jennifer Kale, played by Sashir Zamata, first mentioned Mephisto back in episode 3.
He might be a demon, or an agent of Mephisto.
She was talking to Billy about some people thinking that Nicholas Scratch, Agatha's son, might be an agent of Mephisto, the demon lord whose whereabouts remain a mystery. And that's where it ended. No other direct mention or appearance by Mephisto for the rest of the season. So, where is Mephisto hiding? And with all these signs, when are we actually going to see him? The clues are subtle, but feel like they're building towards something. My guess? Marvel might be slowly paving the way to introduce Mephisto in a bigger storyline in the future, building up the anticipation across multiple projects. I also wonder if Marvel is positioning Mephisto for a future saga beyond the multiverse. Right now, the multiverse saga is already loaded with villains, so they might be playing a long game to set up Mephisto as a big twist or surprise down the line. After all, they've been giving us small hints, building suspense around him, and setting up that fear factor. And with rumors of Robert Downey Jr. returning as Doctor Doom, it seems like Marvel's shifting things around on the villain front. Honestly, though, I think that makes things even more interesting. What about you? Are you excited to see Mephisto finally appear? Where do you think he might fit into the current MCU storylines? Let me know your thoughts. Question 6. Where did Jennifer Kale go after she escaped the Witch's Road? In episode 7, Lilia Calderu, played by Patti Lupone, delivered a prophecy calling Jennifer Kale the path ahead. As the High Priestess, Jennifer is clearly a major player with tons of potential for future crossovers. But Agatha All Along didn't reveal exactly what that path ahead means. She simply exited the Witch's Road and flew off. Destination unknown. I can't help but get stuck on Lilia's prophecy here. It feels like it's meant to be something bigger than just a passing line, right? I think it has to mean we'll see Jennifer again. probably with a more central role next time. Watching her fly off from the Westview border instantly reminded me of the final scenes in WandaVision, when Wanda closed the Hex, saying goodbye to Vision, Billy, and Tommy, then flew off as well. But here's the intriguing part. Wanda flew off toward the sunset, which felt symbolic of an ending. It led into Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, which concluded with a tragic chapter for her. Sunset means the same as the end of her story, at least for now. But with Jennifer, she flew toward the sunrise, a very different and maybe deliberate choice by Marvel. Could this mean Jennifer Kale's journey as the High Priestess is only beginning? It might be a symbol that she's ready to step into a new chapter in a future project. Who knows? What do you guys think? Where do you think Jennifer Kale went? And what role do you think she might play next? Question 7. Who is Nicholas Scratch's father? Right now, fans are left guessing, and honestly, it's a bit of a mystery. The comics don't provide any solid answers or hints either. If you think that Agatha's pregnancy was like Wanda's, then you might be mistaken. Agatha explicitly stated that she didn't use any magic or spells in her pregnancy. According to her, Nicholas was created from scratch, which is literally where his last name comes from. So, officially, Nikki doesn't have a father figure. But Agatha did say that Nicholas's birth was completely normal, like any other child. That implies he must have a father somewhere, right? I'm not keen on getting too caught up in Catherine Hahn's comments about Nicholas's birth not needing a male figure. I'd rather focus on the clues we have. One detail that stands out to me is how gentle Nikki's death was. In episode 9, we see Rio Vidal visit him at night and invite him to go along. It seems like Nicholas willingly surrendered himself. This scenario made me reconsider some things, especially when we think about Billy. In episode 8, death can't just take Billy's life. He has a unique fate. And if Death or Rio Vidal, played by Aubrey Plaza, tried to force it, he would reincarnate into another body. The only way for Billy to pass on was to willingly give himself to death. Why is Billy different from others whose deaths never seem to trouble Mistress Death? Maybe it's because he's Wiccan, or he's an anchor being, as mentioned in Deadpool and Wolverine, where his death could cause the universe to collapse. So, what about Nicholas Scratch? Perhaps Nikki is also a special child with significant ties to the universe, making it difficult for Mistress Death to deal with him. Could his father be an important entity? Maybe even Mephisto? What do you all think? Who do you suspect is Nicholas's dad? Let me know your theories. Question 8. Where is Tommy Maximoff and what is his life like now? So, with the series leading us into a storyline focused on searching for Tommy, it's natural to wonder, where is he right now? After his soul has taken over the body of a child who seems to be Thomas Shepard, Billy and Agatha must figure out where to find the character who is likely to become Speed in the MCU. Honestly, I don't think this is a tough question. Essentially, Billy and Agatha have more than enough power to locate Tommy. If we look at the comics, it's usually straightforward since they're not too far apart. However, the clues we've received are pretty heartbreaking. It seems that Tommy Maximoff, after acquiring this new body, isn't living the best life. He's often bullied. Even before his soul took over, Thomas Shepard met a tragic fate during a bullying incident at a pool or beach. Details are a bit hazy. Tommy's unfortunate circumstances could provide an interesting backdrop for the upcoming spin-off story. In the comics, Thomas is portrayed as a troublemaker with frequent run-ins with the law, while in the MCU, he appears to be a timid character who often becomes a victim of bullying. I think in the next spin-off, Billy and Agatha won't take long to find Tommy, but their real challenge will be convincing Thomas Shepard that he is Tommy Maximoff and that they share a strong family bond from the past. So, what do you all think about Tommy's story? Where do you believe Billy and Agatha will find him? Question 9. How did Agatha Harkness acquire the Darkhold? This isn't a storyline that plays out in Agatha All Along, but it's a piece of the puzzle that carries over from WandaVision. There have been rumors suggesting that Agatha made a deal with Mephisto, exchanging her son Nicholas Scratch for a copy of the Darkhold. While we initially bought into that rumor, Episode 9 clearly debunked it. However, it's still possible that Agatha's dealings with Mephisto regarding the Darkhold and Nicholas Scratch aren't entirely off base. Perhaps this is why Agatha hesitated to confront Nicholas in the afterlife and chose instead to linger as a ghost to help Billy. Is it too far-fetched to think that Mephisto still had a role in how Agatha came into possession of the Darkhold? What do you all think? Question 10. Where did Billy get his Wiccan costume? This is the final and most intriguing question. Where did Billy find that awesome Wiccan costume? Honestly, it's pretty cool and closely resembles his look from the comics. I'm trying to remember if Scarlet Witch's costume, worn by Wanda Maximoff, was something created through regular means or if it was conjured up with magic. I suspect Billy might have done something similar to what Wanda did, just a bit of abracadabra, and boom, they have their stylish outfits. But it can't be that straightforward, right? There's likely a different process that makes Wiccan's costume special and adds to the mystery. Before, we only saw Billy wearing his crown, and then suddenly, in episode 9, he shows up fully suited up. Does this mean Wiccan's powers are now fully developed within him? So, let's unravel this together. What do you think? Where did that amazing costume come from? Wow, those 10 questions really have me tossing and turning at night. I hope once you all chip in with your answers, I can finally get some good sleep later. Oh, and I've got some exciting news. Marvel Studios has a ton of awesome projects lined up for 2025. That means I'll be popping up on your feeds more often with fresh videos about the MCU. Just to name a few, we've got Daredevil, Deadpool, and Wolverine, What If, Ironheart, Eyes of Wakanda, and so much more. Next year is going to be special, and pretty busy too. Plus, we're gearing up to see Sam Wilson take on the mantle in Captain America, Brave New World, as he steps into the shoes of Steve Rogers, a legacy passed down from Chris Evans. Thank you for watching! But before you close this video, make sure to leave one or more of your answers to those questions in the comments. Your input would really help me out. I'll always be here to accompany you through the exciting adventures in the MCU and the world of superheroes. And I'll see you next time.